Welcome back to the Irish Bandit channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This time around on the show, we're going to be looking at one of my favorite Netflix series. Oh boy, it is a good one. We are in its fourth season, and it just keeps getting better and better. In my opinion, honestly, I look at it as like Breaking Bad. Different premise, but with every season, it's just been getting better and better and building. We're coming to the end of the series, though, with its fifth season. Much like Breaking Bad, but again, totally different premise. We are talking about Stranger Things. What a fantastic show for a child of the 80s like myself. You have everything you could love. You have nostalgic throwbacks. You have some really deep horror in it. You have some great sci-fi added as well. A compelling story, great characters, and just something that has been building for the past 4 seasons. So we're going to talk about season 4 today, my review, what I liked, what I didn't like about it. And let me just say, there was a lot more that I liked about it than I didn't like about it. I do have my nitpicks. We will get into that. It wasn't a perfect season, but it was damn sure close to it. So let's talk about Stranger Things and start off with a little bit of a recap. So I will try my best to keep spoilers at a minimum, but you have been warned. There will be, well, there may be spoilers from here on out. So just if you've already seen season 4, right on. If you've seen the entire series, right on. If you haven't, this is your warning now. You might want to stop, go watch the first 4 seasons of Stranger Things, then come back and we'll talk about it. Cool? Cool. Okay. So where we left things off in season 3 is after everything that happened in the Starcourt Mall and everything that happened with Max's half-brother Billy and him just kind of redeeming himself after all the BS he put poor Max through and all the kids through the past 2 seasons, season 2 and season 3. So we had that inevitable showdown at the Starcourt Mall, which kind of led everybody going their separate ways a little bit. You had Joyce taking Will, Jonathan, and Eleven to California, while everyone else stayed in Hawkins, Indiana. So that's where we kind of pick up with this season. So sometime later, I don't remember how much time later, Elle no longer has her powers. She's getting bullied in school, which is something that I resonated with this season, with just how crappily Elle was treated and how Will was treated as well to some extent. And then, so you have that going on in California. Back in Hawkins, you have everything going on with Mike and Lucas, Dustin, everyone else over there. Nancy. Is Nancy and Jonathan still together? Is Elle and Mike still together? But all at the same time, you have Joyce dealing with something herself when she gets a mysterious package from Russia. Now, we were all led to believe at the end of season 3 that Hopper bit the big one. I know I did. I was inconsolable after that one because Hopper is one of my favorite characters. I love his gruff and grumpy demeanor, but deep down inside, the man cares a lot for Elle. So when his quote-unquote end came at this end of season 3, I was inconsolable. And my best friend was like, I don't know. And I'm like that kind of person. I've been duped too many times or I've had this happen to me too many times watching TV shows that I love when you think somebody's killed off. And I'm like, no, they're gonna, like, take a look at The Walking Dead. Like, just before Negan's big appearance, they had the fake out of Glenn's death. That may have been foreshadowing. That may have not been foreshadowing. They may have just been being funny because they totally removed Stephen Ewan's name from the opening credits, which I was like, yep, there you go. There's your evidence. He's gone. And he came back a couple of episodes later. I'm like, you bastages. And so then at the end of season 3 of Stranger Things, we had that little fake out with the Russian gulag and, them saying, that's the American. And then we get that teaser before, like a year before season 4 came out, with Hopper working on the chain gang. So that basically confirmed, yeah, Hopper's back. Thanks, guys. So anyway, during season 4, you have all of Joyce has really become a character that I've grown to love, honestly and truthfully. Like when you take a look at where she started in season 1, the way she was like so worried and so full of anxiousness for what happened to Will when he went to the Upside Down. And just where she has come since then. She's a more confident, more headstrong, go into the fire character, because you didn't see that in season 2 when her boyfriend Bob died. Spoilers again. So for the first 3 seasons, there's going to be spoilers, but I'll try to keep the season 4 spoilers to a minimum so you can watch it. But when Bob died, she didn't do anything about it. And there was a moment where at the end of season 4, I think she redeemed herself. We'll talk a little bit about that when I talk about what I loved about season 4. So let's talk about everything else that's going on at this point. So you have everything going on in California. Elle trying to fit in. Mike is going to California for spring break. Everybody's staying back in Hawkins. Just everything, life is normal. Everything's going fine. Until the first death happens. That first death in Stranger Things season 4. Oh my God, my jaw was on the floor seeing that one. Just how they pulled that off was just, wow. So terrifying to watch when Chrissy gets flung up in the air and everything happens to her. And I'm going to stop it at that so I don't give away any more. So then you have this big mystery of what's going on. We meet a new character by the name of Eddie Munson, who is initially thought had killed Chrissy, which was not the case. But Eddie goes on the run, fearing the worst, that he's going to be blamed for her murder, which is exactly what happened. And I love what they did here, because this is set in March of 1986, late March. Around this point, because I remember this clearly being, I just turned 43 years old just a couple weeks ago. I remember this clearly. It was during the time of that whole satanic panic spree that happened among Christians and conservatives. I don't try to make my channel political by any stretch of the imagination, but this is history we're talking about, so it's worth talking about. So we'll delve into a little history of the satanic panic right now. So the Great Satanic Panic of the 80s. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I lived through it. So basically anything any parent, any Christian parent could think of that drove their kids to Satan was blamed for the Satanic Panic of the 80s. Heavy metal, Dungeons and Dragons, you name it, it was pretty much all thrown under the bus. But since then, that all has been debunked. But everyone was thinking, oh, Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, Dungeons and Dragons, these types of movies. They're making kids join satanic cults, and there was absolutely no evidence of satanic cults anywhere during that time. It was just all a big smear campaign, or whatever you want to call it. The Satanic Panic was not real, folks. I can tell you firsthand, it was not real. Nothing like that happened. But I loved how Stranger Things incorporated this into their storyline, because it was such a hot button topic back in 1986. So just pulling that in with the addition of Dungeons and Dragons. Well, Dungeons and Dragons has been a big thing in Stranger Things since the very beginning, since we first met the core group of kids. So to add that element to it is just really good storytelling by the Duffer Brothers. So I give them big props to that. So anyway, back to the story. So one of the big things that surprised me about this season was the return of Dr. Brenner. I'm not going to say it because I thought he met his end at the end of season 1. So to see him coming back, like, didn't see that coming. So he was. See, I don't want to say he wasn't a welcome addition, because Matthew Modine did such an outstanding performance in this series. But the character himself is just I don't like him. I like Dr. Owens a whole lot better, played by Paul Reiser. He was a great addition in the last season. Man, he was very wonderful here. And my God, all these icons of the 80s that they're bringing in for the show. Winona Ryder, who's a cast regular. Matthew Modine, Paul Reiser, Sean Astin in season 2 as Bob Newby. They had Robert Englund for an episode. an episode. I'm going to talk about that things I didn't like. That's the issue I got to take up with the Duffer Brothers. But either way, still cool to have him part of the show. But yeah, this was just an outstanding season from beginning to end, and there's not much more that I can say about that because I don't want to go too much into spoiler territory because you have to see it. But one of the big things about the last season, season 3, was after everything that happened at Starcourt Mall, Elle losing her powers. She finds a way to get them back, and that's the last spoil that I'm giving for this season. But all the way up until the very end of the season, oh my God, outstanding storytelling by the Duffer Brothers. Great acting by everyone involved. Again, I gotta give big props to Matthew Modine, Paul Reiser, David Harbour especially. Oh my God, he killed it this season. Winona Ryder was outstanding as usual. Like I said, Joyce is becoming one of my favorite characters. She's always been all right the first few seasons, but this season she just kicked ass, took names, and just absolutely incredible on her part. And I can't forget the young kids in this cast: Finn Wolfhard, Noah Schnapp, Caleb McLaughlin. Gaten Monserrato is always awesome as Dustin. Dustin is by far my favorite character of the core group of kids. Sadie Sink and Millie Bobby Brown just brought it as usual. This young cast is going to go places. Already Finn Wolfhard has been in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So they've all got bright futures ahead of them, and I can't wait to see what they do next. So yeah, they were just really fantastic this season. And when we're talking about characters, we had some new characters join. We had Yuri, the Russian pilot, who could turn on a drop of a dime. We had the prison guard that Hopper. I went from David Harbour to my best friend's sister's dog to Hopper. I got there eventually. We had the Russian guard that Hopper befriends. Eddie Munson, we talked about him earlier. Oh, what? For 8 episodes, what a story arc that kid had. Just fantastic acting. And if you've seen the final episode, you know how badass that Master of Puppets scene was. I love it, I love it, I love it. I thought it was going to be totally hokey looking at all the screenshots, but the way it was executed, the way it was done was to perfection. And then we got another one of my favorite new characters, Argyle, the pizza boy stoner. Just nothing seemed to faze him. He was kind of cool with everything that was going on. I really dug the character of Argyle, and I hope we see more of him in season 6. So yeah, great season from beginning to end. Let's talk about more of the things that I loved in season 4 of Stranger Things. So we already talked about a lot of the things I loved about the season, like the characters, the acting in this season, the music especially. The way the Duffer Brothers have incorporated music within the last 4 seasons has been superb, especially this season. Incorporating the song Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush as kind of Max's anthem, and then of course using Master of Puppets in the final episode. Just, that was so well done. Everybody has been reacting to it very, very well. Like I said earlier, I thought it was going to come off as cheesy, and it came off so well, so awesome. Everything was so well done, and led up to probably what I feel was one of the most emotional moments of the season. So have a box of tissue handy when you're watching that episode. That's all I'm going to say, because I've seen quite a few reactions already of the final episode, season 4 finale, I should say. Final episode won't be 124, but I've seen a lot of people get emotional during that episode, be it any number of scenes, like when Elle is piggybacking into Max's memory, and Mike is telling her to keep fighting. I saw a lot of people getting choked up over that. And then the scene I have in mind with Eddie, that scene got me. Actually, there's one thing that I will admit to right here, right now. because when Mike was doing his whole thing with Elle, telling her, I love you because you're strong, when he told her, you are my superhero, that's what got me, because I think of a friend of mine like that. They are my superhero, that with their strength, and oh boy, yeah, I thought of them when I was watching that scene and just kind of, oh God, my heart. And then the scene everybody knows from the final episode, just, that was such a heartbreaking scene. Again, I'm not going to get into it for spoilers' sake, but if you've seen season 4, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, a lot of stuff to like about season 4. But was there anything that I didn't like about season 4? Well, like I said before, the season wasn't perfect, but it was close to it. But let's talk about the things that weren't so great about season. You can call them nitpicks, because I really don't felt it brought anything down. But let's talk about a few things the minor little things that I didn't like about season 4. So I got to get this one off my chest right away. You have somebody the stature of Robert Englund, and you only bring him in for one episode. I think there could have been more they could have done with Victor Creel, honestly and truthfully. They could have asked him about his son, gone back time and time again, but you only bring Robert Englund in for one episode. Maybe this will lead into something in the final season. I don't know, given everything that happened at the end of season 4. I don't know, but, let's bring Robert back. Let's bring Robert back for some more scenes, okay? If you have someone of that stature, use him. Another thing, I can't even say this is a thing I didn't like, because honestly and truthfully, when I heard that the episodes, like especially nearing the end of the season, were gonna be like an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, like, oh God, okay, we are reaching Avengers territory here, people. Like, this could go either really well or really badly, especially if there are parts that drag. And if you've seen Infinity War and Endgame, you know there were parts of that movie that dragged. Both of those movies that dragged. But while, yeah, I do think the last 2 episodes were kind of in the lengthy category, at no time during the final episode did I feel that it just was too long. Everything was paced out so well and just had a flow to it that 2.5 hours went by like that. I think if anything, everything started to drag a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, after, let's just call it Robin, Steve, and Nancy's assault. After that, everything that happened after that, and the earthquake, leaving things as vague as possible, I think things might have got a little too long at that point, but up until then, it was moving at such a rapid-fire pace that I had no time to think, oh my God, this is so long, come on, hurry up, hurry up. It was like, I was invested every minute of the final episode. So I absolutely, in a way, yes, it was too long, but in a way, it moved so well, it didn't feel like 2.5 hours. Like, I gotta say, with season 3, everything flowed so well, I didn't feel these episodes were over an hour. It was like, I blink and it's done. And I'm thoroughly entertained by everything that's been going on. So, that, it's kind of a blessing but kind of a curse at the same time. So I will say, yeah, they may have gotten a little too long, but it was so paced well that it didn't matter to me in the end. Another big thing that I don't like is that I'm going to wait 2 years until the final season, but that's nothing we can do about that one. Well, I guess there's really not much we can do about anything else, but yeah, as far as anything else, no, I have no complaints about this season. It was damn near perfect, and I loved every minute of it. From the beginning, middle to the end, just everything worked so well. Oh, there's one more thing that I do want to talk about when it comes to this season, because I've heard a lot of people saying that Hopper's storyline was not needed. If the Duffer Brothers put it in, it's needed. It is all connected somehow. It may not be apparent right away, but we'll get to it eventually. I'm betting season 5 it'll all come together. So don't crap on anything just yet. Wait till season 5 and see what happens there. So yeah, I'm not saying anything about the Hopper storyline. I thought it was myself. I thought it was really well done. Seeing Hopper go from what happened at the beginning of the season to finally everything that happened at the end of the season. Again, keeping things vague here. Go watch it. You should go watch it. It is a very well made show. So no, the Hopper storyline, in my opinion, was very well needed. But again, damn near perfect season. Duffer Brothers knocked it out of the park. Everyone who's involved in the show, be it the actors, costumers, producers, anybody who had anything to do with the show, knocked it out of the park. If season 3 was a 9 on a 10-point scale, season 4 was a 9.5. These seasons just keep getting better and better and better. But what did you think of season 4 of Stranger Things? Let me know in the comments section down below. I would really love to read your opinion on this season. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. In the description, you're going to see a link to all of my social media and all the ways you can help support this channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, my Reddit page. You can help support the channel by visiting my Redbubble store, get all your Irish Bandit merchandise, and you can pre-order your copy of my very first novel, Shade Falling, in the Amazon link down below as well. All the links are there. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, tap the bell and you'll be notified whenever a brand new video goes live. I will be back on Thursday talking about what Final Fantasy VII means to me. I talk about the game a lot, but it's my favorite game. I actually just finished the game here a couple days ago, so... And, well, I'll talk about all that when I do the video on Thursday. Next Tuesday, I will be back with my top 5 favorite episodes of Season 3 of Criminal Minds. And then the Thursday following, I'm going to be talking about what I want to see in Season 5 of my current favorite TV show, Cobra Kai. So be sure to check that all out. Thank you for joining me today, guys. I'll talk to you again very, very soon.